Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for coming. And we're really excited about the opportunity as a semi-finalist for the Georgetown University Energy, the Georgetown Energy Prize competition. We're delighted to be where we are. It's a big deal. I think it really reflects, the fact that we're semi-finalists here really reflects the hard work that's been done in the past and our deep, deep commitment to the future and really being world-class at this. I want to just say that I'm so appreciative of the work that my colleagues have done in the room and the elected officials that we have in the room and the partners. Fort Collins is known for being innovative, for being collaborative, for being early adopters of really, really important policy measures and specific actions. And one of the things that makes me really, really pleased as the city manager of Fort Collins is we get to be practical examples for the rest of the country around some really important topics like we're going to talk about today. So I want to say we really are very grateful where we are. This is a $5 million prize, and as a result, and someone is going to win this prize, and so why not Fort Collins? Right? It's going to happen somewhere in America, and we're absolutely the right fit for this. So I couldn't be happier about that, and I know I've got a lot of colleagues in the room that are as well. The other thing, and just as important as the prize, is to be part of leading change, as I talked about just a second ago. It's to be able to model best practices and to really be able to show that there are some with strong leadership, with stick-to-itiveness and a vision, and resourcing that vision, this community has been known to get some really remarkable things done. And so we're on a great 2-year journey over the next couple of years, and I'm pleased to be part of that. And I know, again, on behalf of council members and the mayor, who we'll be hearing from later, and also my colleagues, that we're just really, really excited about it. Our partners in this case are our Poudre School District, K through 12 program, the university, Colorado State University, which has nearly 30,000 students on campus. We've got leadership at the university, starting with Dr. Frank, our president, who's deeply committed in having CSU being a worldwide leader in this area as well. So that's not been a tough partner to engage with. They've been right out front as well. And then various non-for-profit groups, environmental groups, and businesses in Fort Collins. So with that, I get to turn it over to our next speaker, and he is going to be joining us from via the telephone. So he'll show up somewhere in this room through a speaker system. But he's the founder and executive director of the Georgetown University Prize, and it's Francis Slakey. Francis, are you there?
I am here. Yeah. Thanks, Darren.
Yep.
And congratulations, Fort Collins. You're one of the 50 select communities that will compete for the next 2 years for the Georgetown University Energy Prize. And I have to tell you, getting into this round was no easy feat. Darren, you're right. It was a big deal. And let me tell you who you already beat out to get to this point. Starting last April, hundreds of communities across the country contacted us about participating. And over the last 8 months, we thinned the field. And the ones that made it in, like you, Fort Collins, all cleared a really high hurdle. You successfully assembled a team. You developed a compelling plan. You got commitments from your local government, your utilities, community organizations. Now, this competition was open to America, and now it actually looks like America. The 50 communities that are in this competition touch all points of the compass, from Alaska to Virginia, from Minnesota to Alabama, and it goes right to the heart of America, to you, Fort Collins, Colorado. And the 50 competing communities not only span the country, but they span the nation's full political, social, and economic diversity. So this competition really does look like America. And just like America, the competing cities have a lot of different motivations for being in this competition. Some of them are paying the highest energy prices in the country, but we also have a couple of the poorest counties in America in this competition, and for them, this is about helping their community pay their energy bills. We also have some of the most tech-savvy communities in the country in the competition, and we also have some communities who are in this because they want to become among the first cities in the U.S. to be net zero carbon emitters. So 50 communities in this competition, every one of them is highly motivated, so there's some good, healthy competition for you, Fort Collins. And from what I've seen from you guys already, you probably wouldn't want it any other way. There's even some local competition for you. Aspen and Brighton both made the cut. But you're not alone in having local competition. Cities in the states of Washington and the states of California and Utah and Indiana and Virginia, they all have multiple cities that made it in. So absolutely, this is a national competition, but there's a lot of friendly local competition that's seasoning this whole thing. Now let me guess what all of you are wondering right now, which is, how do we win? And I've gotten that question 1,000 times already, and I'll probably get it another 10,000 times before this competition is over. So let me tell you this. Fort Collins couldn't be better prepared. Fort Collins is consistently recognized as one of the top cities in this country to live, work, and play in. And I also know that your mayor was on the President's task force on climate preparedness and resiliency. So the fact is, Fort Collins has set a standard on sustainability issues for the state of Colorado, and now they can set a standard for the entire country. So you guys know what you're doing. You've demonstrated that, but let me give you one tip. Keep it up. Keep being creative, keep being innovative and bold, keep being impactful, keep being a leader, keep being world-class, keep setting that standard. Those are the things that got you into the competition, and that's what can make you win. So, again, congratulations. You're off to a terrific start. I'm looking forward to Fort Collins being part of this competition. And thanks to you, Darren, for giving me the opportunity to be part of this launch.
Thank you, Francis. Let's say thank you to him. So, Francis, we do love friendly competition, so we're all over it. We're all in. So thank you for those encouraging words. I'm going to turn it over to Francis. You haven't met Kevin Gertig. He's our Utilities Executive Director in Fort Collins. We own and operate the electric utility, the water, the wastewater, and stormwater utility. And what you'll quickly learn about Kevin is he is very, very high energy, and so I suspect that that will show up here. So Kevin, I want to welcome you up to the podium.
Thank you, Darren. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And Francis, it's great to be here. Fort Collins Utilities is a leader in efficiency with savings results amongst the highest in the country, as noted. For instance, in 2013, customers in our electric areas saved over 32 million kilowatt hours, or 2.2% of our annual usage. This community continues to demonstrate our commitment to energy efficiency. Look for ongoing updates on our progress on reducing energy over the next 2 years. We are very fortunate to have a very strong partnership with Platte River Power Authority, and with their work, we continue to make a difference in our community. We see the Georgetown competition as an exciting step for our community in enhancing the direction of the City of Fort Collins and the utilities. We will be ramping up our participation in existing programs, developing new engagement methodologies and campaigns, and testing innovative models to make it easy to conserve energy for everyone in this great community. Finally, we have a very strong leadership of implementation led by an interdepartmental team of Fort Collins city staff and other members, as well as Colorado State University, and a great sustainability program. All hands are on deck to make this a successful effort. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to turn it over to our Chief Sustainability Officer, Mr. Bruce Hindy. Thank you.
Oh man, did I get put in the wrong order? Shoot. Okay, well I gotta be me. Sorry, Kevin, I can't imitate that. You're so good at it. It actually is a really good fit with our climate action plan. I think we're currently bringing forward to council right now an updated climate action plan that will make us one of the best and most progressive in terms of our goals in the nation. And so that we look forward to on February 17th, bringing forward to our council. We've been working on it for the last year. And the Georgetown University Energy Prize is a perfect fit with that. Looking back, we have about a 30-year history with the environment in Fort Collins, and it's been many years where we continue to follow a path that says the environment's important, and that as we move forward with our carbon reduction goals, I think this is one of those great opportunities to take the challenge, and this actually we see as a key function in launching our efforts to become one of the best communities in the nation. And as we've already heard, and Darren tells us all the time, we're a world-class community and we keep striving to be that, and this is one of those great opportunities to do that. We're currently right now in a phase where we're gathering information and input, which will help us to kind of launch this program and move it forward. And we're really excited about having the opportunity to do that. The Georgetown University Energy tool is one of those in our toolkit that we can use that I think really help us to kind of move forward from a community-based standpoint, working with our community, Colorado State University, Poudre School District, to develop efficiency measures, because that is one of the parts, a very significant part of our overall program. In addition to that, we'll have alternative energy and other standards for reducing our carbon emissions. And that goal, by the way, is for us to reduce our carbon emissions by 80% by the year 2030, which I think in and of itself is an admirable and challenging goal, and I might say a very important one for our community and for our nation. So with that, we're thrilled to be a part of this, really excited to be part of the Georgetown University Energy Prize. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce our wonderful mayor, Karen Weikenut.
Thank you. I think I'm to start sis boom ba ra. Is that it? I don't know if we can reduce our energy with what's in this room here today. So anyway, I'm sorry. I bring the official dignitary side to this today. I'm going to read the proclamation that proclaims this Energy Efficient Day. So this is the real official part of this. Whereas the community of Fort Collins is known for its bold energy and climate objectives. And whereas Fort Collins is a place where environmental sustainability matters to our residents and businesses who have already reduced their energy consumption over the years. And whereas the city has been named a semi-finalist in the Georgetown University Energy Prize, which aims to encourage communities of all sizes to reduce their energy consumption over the next 2 years. And whereas we are proud to be selected for a national competition because our energy conservation education programs stack up very well next to the other cities in the nation. And whereas this competition will help us engage our community, learn energy conservation education programs and efficiency techniques from other cities, and also give us the opportunity to share what we've learned with others. Whereas energy conservation can only make our community more resilient to climate change. Now, therefore, I, Karen Weikenut, Mayor of the City of Fort Collins, do hereby proclaim January 14th, 2015, the day in which we kick off our participation in Georgetown University Energy Prize competition, and it's known as Energy Efficiency Day in Fort Collins, in honor of our continued success to reduce our energy consumption. Go Fort Collins.
Okay, so Francis, did you sense the energy from Kevin? And from
I
from
did.
Bruce
What a
and Mary?
terrific room.
Yeah.
I think I could feel it from out here in Washington.
I like to always say that Kevin in particular has got an IV drip of Mountain Dew at 24/7, but I can also speak for the mayor. What you see from, and I wish we could kind of turn the camera around and show the enthusiasm, but what you see from this mayor and council, frankly, what you see from this community, what you see from Kevin, and what you see from Bruce is great enthusiasm, but it's genuine. It reflects this community, and that's why so many of us are so proud of being part of this effort and this community. So, you know, in summary, what I heard a lot about was sharing and learning and modeling and implementing. And I think what differentiates Fort Collins from a lot of other places that I've had a chance to experience is that a lot of communities plan and a lot of communities build, but very, very few communities have a big vision and they build that big vision. And we see lots of aspirational goals. And we see in other places, we see lots of actions without vision. But I think what differentiates Fort Collins from many, many other places is we have big vision, we have plans, and we execute those plans. And so I hope, Francis, on behalf of this community and my colleagues who are all here, that over the next 2 years that we demonstrate that. And that when this is said and done, you look back and say, wow, Fort Collins is clearly a best practices community and organization, and we will make you proud to be your award winner in the U.S. So with that,
I'm already saying wow to you guys. Terrific energy in that room. Congratulations for being part of this.
Thank you very much. So I want to ask John and Katie to come up. I know, I don't know if folks have, I mean, we can have questions. We can do this in a bigger setting, or we can have one-on-one questions as well. But since a lot of our colleagues are here, if any of you have questions for Katie or John, feel free. So do you guys want to come up, and I'll move out of the way.
And I'll click off now, Darren, but thanks so much for letting me be part of this.
Thank you again. We really appreciate it.
All right, so long.
Thanks, Francis. Katie and I got to meet Francis Lakey and some of the other team that's implementing the Georgetown Prize last April when we went out. For myself, I went out there thinking that this might be a good idea for Fort Collins, and during the time, a few days there and working with their team and with Katie, came back thinking, convinced that it was a very good idea and that we really ought to pursue this. And that was due to sort of the match between our community and the prize, as well as the thoughtfulness with which they had designed the competition. You know, I put my engineering hat on and said, how do you compare countries or communities across the country of all different shapes and sizes and composition and make sense of it? And I think they've done a good job of that.
So in the end, how do you see this impacting the average Fort Collins resident? How's this competition going to translate to their utility bill, for example?
So we really see this as an opportunity for community members, residents, both students as well as businesses that can promote it to their employees, an opportunity to learn more about the offerings of Fort Collins Utilities and the incentives, as well as ways that they can save energy on their own. So it really offers a great opportunity. It brings out the competitive spirit in this community, as well as ability to connect with their neighbors and the Fort Collins programs and their staff as well.
I would add it's a combination of reaching more members of the community, hopefully some of those that maybe are underrepresented in participating in some of the programs that we've had historically, as well as reaching sort of deeper levels of savings with each of those customers who are engaging. So more of them and a deeper savings with each as we move along.
Can you speak about what makes the Georgetown Prize so special?
Something about $5 million, I think, is part of that. So that's clearly a piece. Actually, briefly was able to talk with Kevin before, but I was not aware of the sort of rich history of prizes as a way to find solutions to stuck problems. And that was something that Georgetown kind of helped bring some of the history of that. And it's different than a grant, it's different than setting a policy or plan. It's trying to sort of unleash that competitive and innovative spirit to solve the solution, to win something. And there are examples that go back to Napoleon. So the invention of canned food was a prize. Navigation around the globe in terms of longitude was a prize offered by the British government. And then more recently, we've got SpaceX and Lindbergh flying across the Atlantic. All of those sort of accomplishments were a similar structure around prizes. And I thought that was a very interesting piece that Georgetown really, the conception of the idea around that was fascinating to me. And I think maybe it's something that we need to go to the next level.
John, to Kevin's question about value to the specific ratepayer, maybe you can kind of bump up a little bit and talk about why is conservation important in the first place, and then translate that to the ratepayer specifically, if you can, because we're not at City of Fort Collins just working on conservation to conserve. I mean, there are much higher values that we're trying to, both in terms of long-term needs for generation and those sorts of things. Can you just share some thoughts about that?
Sure. I think the beauty of efficiency and conservation is that you can gain benefits from the same set of actions that might have different values to different people, either individually or across the community. So for example, part of it is purely economic. You can save money on your monthly utility costs, be those natural gas, electricity, or water, and use those for more valuable functions in your household. Whether that is, basic things such as food, rent, those types of things, or more something you might have higher value in entertainment, who knows. So I think there's an economic component of it. Generally, we find that the solutions we do for efficiency and conservation in homes make our homes healthier, comfortable, safer at the same time. So there's an element of that for our sort of families, and that we want to make sure we have safe, healthy, comfortable homes, and that everybody in Fort Collins can access that. And then there's the environmental benefits as well that our community has embraced. And that's generally often what gets tied immediately with efficiency and conservation, is we're going to have reduced emissions from our electricity resources or natural gas use. But the beauty is it fits all together, and depending on who you're talking to and what their values are, we can do the same set of actions. So ultimately, we really want to help people manage their own. I think there's a personal effectiveness kind of component to it, and the ability to take something that many people may think is a fixed cost. I can't do anything about that. Well, you actually can. You could manage that and apply those resources in ways that may be more useful or valuable to you.
Hi there, congratulations. One of the things that is on the list is innovation. So if you would, talk about how this will integrate into our economic health and our innovative community in general, and our innovative ecosystem in Fort Collins.
Sure. So there's a lot of great programs that already exist through the city, and really what we've tried to do in thinking about what we want to do different and what might be innovative for the our participation in the Georgetown University Energy Prize is really take a second look at the programs that we've got and see how we can leverage those for improvement. We are looking at a couple of different programs that will offer some alternative financing mechanisms, as well as a program that can involve at the neighborhood level and through social networks. So there's going to be things that we do differently. In terms of involvement in what you call the innovation culture, we really are hoping to engage and have this be a community initiative, community-based initiative, so that we have a lot of great businesses in Fort Collins that are very engaged around use of energy and energy efficiency that could reach out to their employees as well and help engage at a broader level. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to try different things, whether that be an enhancement or a minor tweak. We do think that there's a lot of opportunity to partner with a broad spectrum of community organizations and partners to really make this not be just a city instituted program, but really infused within the community and that innovative fabric that kind of runs through everything in Fort Collins.
That was something I want to add to that, and it's really about how the prize itself works. And over the next 2 years, in 2015 and 2016, the metric by which we'll be comparing kind of to ourselves first and then to other communities is how much did we use? How much did we use of electricity and natural gas in these 2 years versus the 2 years before? And performing really well on that gets us into the finals. But when you get into the finals, that energy savings becomes a much smaller value because at that point everybody's done well. All of those communities that are in the finals have exemplified some great savings. Then the focus becomes, how did we innovate? What are the things we did? How replicable is that? How is it scalable to other communities? What kind of persistence will we see? How do we educate and engage our community? Those become the primary criteria with which the $5 million prize. So we need to get the energy savings and show the measured results, and that's critical. And then we need to show all of the ways that we accomplish that and why that's going to matter across the country and into the future.
What are we going to do when we win? What do we do with the money?
Well, we're really hoping that's the case. That's a good problem to solve. The $5 million prize has to be used for community benefit, and that's per the Georgetown guidelines and rules. So how that money is spent, we really would like to have a community conversation about that. We feel like the community should decide that. So we will be soliciting feedback and comments from the community, likely in 2016. So we can figure out how to use it. So the prize can't be used by an individual per se, but it is meant to be a community benefit. So that offers a lot of opportunities. Oh.
I was wondering if we could give New Westfest a run for its money, but I'm not sure if we can.
So this is really exciting. Where can a resident go to find out more information or become involved?
So we will have a website that's set up. The title of it's loseawatt.com, LOSEAWATT.com. So that'll provide some more information. There's also ability to sign up on that website to receive updates. And then we'll have a broad marketing and social media campaign where folks can learn more tips, ways to engage, and then they're also always welcome to go to the city website to learn more as well, and that's fcgov.com.
Today is the kickoff of the Georgetown Prize across the country. So the 50 communities selected have some sort of recognition of that. Our kickoff of the campaign in Fort Collins is February 9th. And that's when we'll be rolling out the Lose a Watt campaign itself and a lot more information specifically for residents here in the community.
So in following the spirit of the Georgetown Prize, have you considered having some sort of other prizes for citizens for whatever they're doing, for different energy savings, for ideas that provide energy savings?
We have, as we've been thinking about trying to carry the concept of the prize and sort of drive that down to various levels in the competition. One idea of that, for example, is to enable other organizations within our community. Maybe it's a school classroom, maybe it's a faith organization, maybe it's a business that can have, we've just been calling it prize in a box, you know, a way and a process of running their own mini competition and providing some incentive and prizes. So we think that is the competitive element can work in a lot of different ways, and we really want to leverage that concept. Got one more question in the back? Oh, the mic disappeared. What's your question? And we'll repeat it up here.
Sounds like you've got a lot of great innovative civic engagement and community outreach techniques. Is there going to be some tracking and measuring of those specifically so that as they're successful, from what we learned from those, that it can be translated to other communities for maybe similar community outreach efforts?
Absolutely, that's going to be a key part of the competition. It's not just innovation in terms of the technologies that might be involved or how we insulate houses and things like that. It's also how we engage and are able to track that and show what works and what doesn't. So that will absolutely need to be an important piece of it.
John and Katie, thank you very much. So I want to just recognize again the fact that the mayor's here and is such an encouragement and really, as I mentioned earlier, her enthusiasm around this topic and so many topics in Fort Collins we just love. It inspires us, Mayor. And Mayor Pro Tem Horak is here as well. Jerry, I could say the same thing about you. I appreciate you being here. And you also, and Councilmember Troxel, who's here, you set the framework. You push this organization. You're leading this community, I believe, in a very, very thoughtful, non-reactive, proactive way. And so having you all lead, and then this organization's ability to capture an idea and capture that direction and operationalize that idea is, I think, what we're really good at. We're always trying to get better, but I just, it's a real privilege to be part of this kind of conversation, that we don't roll our eyes at this kind of discussion. We're in play in a big way, and so I think that takes leadership and vision, and it takes a deep commitment to execution, and I think that's exactly what we're talking about today. So that's it. Thanks everyone for being here. Really appreciate it.